All right, so next up, I'd like to show another example of resolving conflicts, but this time I'm going to show you how to do it using VSCode. So VSCode has some nice built-in functionality to help you resolve conflicts, or it can help in some scenarios. So I'm just going to come up with another situation that will cause a merge conflict. What I'm going to do is go to my master branch, which I'm currently on. We'll ignore the combo, the Serena, the Bjorn branches for now. I'm going to go to the master branch, and I'm going to make a new branch from here. So currently on master, we just have 4 ABBA songs and 3 podcasts in the podcast file. So I'm going to make a new branch. Let's do git switch. You know what? Why don't I, just to be different, I'll use git checkout -b. If you remember, this is another way of making a branch and switching to it. It's the old way of doing it before git switch. It's -b to make the branch and switch to it. It's kind of confusing. The alternative is git switch -c. Anyway, I might be screwing you over by mixing and matching them. I don't know. Maybe I'm telling myself it's better to expose you to them so that you see the different options, but maybe it's just confusing. I apologize. Anyway, this branch is going to be called, how about, I don't know, silence. Okay, so git checkout -b silence. And this playlist, the person who wants silence, they're going to go to their playlist and remove everything, all songs and all podcasts, like that. And they're going to add and commit. So git add, let's just add dot, git commit, empty podcasts and songs files. All right. So that's our first half, right? We have our branch silence that we basically just emptied everything out of. We still have the files though. Then I'm going to switch back to master, git switch, master, and what should we do? Let's add a podcast. So the lead, Radiolab, This American Life. One I like recently is Recipe Club. And another one is Broken Record, a great music podcast. And then we'll add a song in here. Should we do another ABBA song? How about Waterloo by ABBA? All right. So I'm going to add and commit those. Git add dot git commit. Let's just go with, I don't know, something generic. Add podcasts and songs. It's not a good commit message at all, but just keeping it quick and simple. Okay. So this is where we stand now. On my master branch, I have this new commit, add podcasts and songs, right? I added this right here, Waterloo by ABBA, and these 2 podcasts. But before I did that, I branched off. And that's where we created our branch called silence. And on the silence branch, I did one thing, and one thing only, which was I emptied out those 2 files. So I have a new commit on silence, and I have a new commit on master. I'm going to try and merge them. And as we know, that should generate a conflict because it's not as simple as a fast forward, and Git can't figure out automatically how to merge these because we edited this podcast file both on this branch and on the silence branch, and we did the same thing for the songs file. So if I want to merge in the silence branch to master, I'll check git status. Okay, we're good to go. Git merge silence. And now we have an example where we have 2 files with conflicts. So that's another thing I wanted to demonstrate. You're not always just going to get one file. Sometimes you can get a whole bunch of files, especially if, we can address that later. If things have gone wrong or you're not really getting your coworkers' code as frequently as you should. Let's say, you do a whole bunch of work for like a year and then you come back to the office and you try and merge things into master. It's not going to go well. Anyway, 2 files with conflicts, songs and podcasts, automatic merge failed, fix them, and then add and commit. So I wanted to show how to do this with VS Code where there's a built-in interface. So most code editors have some support for this. This is really nice. If you have to resolve conflicts, we don't have to manually go and delete everything, right? If I want to accept silence, if that's what I want on this branch, I merge in the changes from silence and I want the silence version. So the empty files, I can click accept incoming change. This is the incoming change. or I can accept the current change, what we already have on master, or I can accept both changes, which is not going to look like anything because silence, as you can see, there's nothing here. We deleted it, right? On that branch, we committed an empty file. So in each of these files where there's a conflict, I could go about it manually, delete these markers myself, choose what I want, or I can just accept incoming change. So it does it for me. Not that impressive because it just deletes what was in there, but that's only because our incoming branch was empty in this file. So I could do that, or if I wanted to, I can put anything in here. I can add changes in here, silence, and save that and add and commit. It's totally up to me. I'm not limited to just either or. Sometimes when you're resolving conflicts, you may need to go in and add additional code or a comment to explain something. So it's not always just a binary, this one, that one. Sometimes there's a bit of a gray area. So I'm going to accept the incoming change again, or maybe I'll just show you if you click accept current change, we end up with what we currently had on master, but I'm going to delete that. We've now gone to silence in both of them. We merged in those changes. That was coming from our silence branch. And now I can go over to my terminal. Oh, by the way, here, the GUI also shows me that there's conflicts. And specifically, it will even show me where the conflicts are, and I guess I can resolve them here. I've never used Git Kraken to do that, but it's kind of cool. Anyway, I'm going to go to my terminal and get status. We have those two files we modified, so I'm going to add them and git commit and just do something like merge silence branch. And there we go. Now we take a look at the GUI and we can see we merge that silence branch into master. And with that merge, it doesn't look like much because our files are both empty, but that did indeed come from the silence branch. We still have this whole history on master, a whole bunch of commits that came before it. You can see that with git log, right? All these commits, and then we have merge silence branch. And we can see empty podcasts and songs files. That is the commit that came from the silence branch right there. Okay, so that's just another example of resolving conflicts. In this case, we had two files that we resolved. You can have, as many as there are. There's no limit on that, and we fix them all in the same way. You open each one up, figure out what you want to keep the incoming branch changes, the current branch changes, or both, save your files, and then make that new commit to merge them. Okay.